predicting the Crown Jewel match card. I'm Will. That's Brandon. We are the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast. As always, let's cheers. Talk about some wrestling.
Yeah, we're a little bit less than a month away. So we're looking at it. Why not throw some matches out there? We got 2 confirmed matches, but let's just throw out some cards and then throw out those winners and see what happens. See how close we are.
Yeah, it's been getting harder to predict these cards because Triple H seems to... He didn't care about throwing big title matches and big time matches on just Raw and SmackDown. He seems to keep the cards kind of slim.
Yeah,
which has been nice. Not hating on it, but it's definitely a little bit harder to predict what's going to go on.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to go first? You want to start with the 2 matches we know
and
then go from there?
Let's just go ahead and get the big ones out of the way that we all know is coming. So first up is Nia Jax taking on Liv Morgan or not for anything except for that big old champ belt.
Yeah, Crown Jewel champion belt.
Do they have 2 of them? Yeah. Or is it just that big one?
No, they have 2.
They do?
They haven't shown the women's one, but they have 2.
Oh, people have been hating on the look. It's going to look nice in a white strap.
Mm-hmm.
The white strap just is a cheat code, though, honestly.
That's fair. I didn't have a problem with the big Crown Jewel myself.
I didn't either.
I know a lot of people hate it, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with it.
No, like when people criticize like the idea of it, sure.
Mm-hmm.
But like I thought the look was all right.
Yeah.
Big old belt.
Yeah. Why not?
What do we think about that match?
So I don't know. I go back and forth here. I think, oh man, I'm going to say there's Nia probably wins, and then we get some sort of teased cash in.
I think that you called it in the Bad Blood video, and I think we're setting up for a Tiffy fail cash in here. It'd be too convenient. We've said about it. We talked about it in the past that they've talked about it a bunch of times with Tiffany about how no one's ever, when you win the Money in the Bank as a woman, you 100% are guaranteed a title because no one's ever failed. And now you have this match with both the champions in the ring. You have all the drama between her and Nia. And if Nia catches her again, she's going to want to cash it in on Liv. Nia might even make her cash it in on Liv, right? Like Nia has her beat and is like, cash it in.
Yeah.
Cash it in.
Yeah.
So it could get interesting there is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it gets really interesting. And I think, who knows if we get some sort of Rhea interference or something on the Liv side even. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't want for that, but there is always that possibility as well. I just think some way, somehow, there is probably a failed cash in, and then it pushes Tiffy more towards the face side, and you get that like unruly Nia again to really establish her as like that mean heel that you hate, and then we get the proper feud, I think, after that.
Yeah, you saying that makes me kind of want a failed cash in now, because I wouldn't mind Tiffany winning it clean off Nia instead of pulling it with the Money in the Bank. Obviously, we've talked about how we think it'd be a failure if they do make her fail. But now when you put it into that context of like if Nia were to force her to do it on Liv and then she fails, and then you get like the full Tiffany coming after Nia, like, hey, you cost me this. I thought you were my friend. And then we really get the face turn. And then you get like a real big payoff with Tiffany just straight up beating Nia. That would do wonders for her. So that'd be nice.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Second match, obviously, that we all know of already. That was confirmed as of this Monday when Gunther beat Sami Zayn with no Goldberg, like we said. We do get our Gunther versus Cody Rhodes for their champ versus champ match for the big belt that we just talked about. Just like the other match, this is surrounded in a lot of stuff, right? So we're filming this at the time, and it's coming out before this week's SmackDown, where they're going to address the KO heel turn that happened after Bad Blood with nobody around, which was awesome.
Right.
But so on that side, you have that, and then the Goldberg thing is something. It's not nothing. And if we know one place that loves to see Mr. Goldberg come out, it's Saudi. Mm-hmm. So a lot can happen here.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to go and say your winner, I guess?
Oh, God. I could... A little bit of me says that we're going to get a bunch of run-ins here, and it's going to be someone winning by DQ. I would hate that, but maybe a Cody winning by DQ via some KO run-in or maybe some bloodline. It all depends on what you think about Cody doing at Survivor Series. Is he going to be taking on Kevin Owens, or is he going to be part of that War Games match? So, I don't know.
Yeah. Either way, I think there is some sort of wonky finish to protect whoever does lose.
Yeah.
For me, I'm thinking some sort of, you mentioned Goldberg.
Yeah.
Why not have Goldberg come out, spear Gunther, he disappears or whatever, and then Cody gets the win. Cody must pose here is kind of my thought process. I feel like Cody's going to win that. Now, do you get the Kevin Owens stuff? I don't know. Do you get maybe a bloodline thing? I don't know. People kind of trashed us a little bit for the Goldberg stuff. He does have 2 matches left, and you don't just have the bad blood thing for no reason. So I feel like that's just a continuance maybe of what we see here.
The part that makes me mad that we were wrong is that it means that when that Goldberg match happens, it's probably a title match, which I just makes me sick to my stomach that dude can still walk into the company and get title matches like that. And we always have those people in the comments who are like, Bill Goldberg is a legend. Put some respect on his name. There's respect there. Sure, he is.
Yeah.
But we're in a different day and age here. We're way past Goldberg's prime, and we now have examples of Goldberg in the recent past, in the last 5-10 years of wrestling, where he's looked like ass in the ring. Okay, there's no reason for him to be there. Okay, so I just wish Gunther would. I don't know. I wish that wouldn't be a thing, but I'm with you. Probably.
Yeah, you guys go after Will. Number 1, Bill Goldberg hater, not me. I didn't say that.
That's Bret Hart. Right behind Bret Hart.
Number 2.
Number 2. I'll take it.
All right, so then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go into some of our predictions of what may happen. Again, just speculation here.
Once again, we don't show each other our lists.
Yeah. Okay. Don't show each other our lists. But we're going to get into it, and then maybe some winners and losers here. What do we think about his list? What does he think about mine? Your guys' feedback.
Go for it.
So I'm going to go with the next match that I feel like we're going to see this one on Raw, but I think that's just the first step in this feud here.
Yep, I already know.
Damage Control versus Jade and Bianca.
Yep, I had that too.
I think that this is pretty set in stone that this is going to make the card.
Yeah.
It showcases Jade. It showcases Bianca. It showcases Io and Kyrie. I do think here, I don't know if we get a swap of the titles here. We're recording this before the Monday that they fight. So I have it as Jade and Bianca having the belts going in. I think this is really a spot where they tease tension, but no lost title and no breakup yet.
Yeah, no, I agree. We're also filming this. We know that there are spoilers for the following Raw. So
Correct.
there are people who already know. We've said it before in our Raw review. We didn't watch it. We're going to watch wrestling as it comes out normally. So I agree with you. I had this match written down. I think it's going to be Bianca and Jay taking on Damage Control. I think that it fits. Like they will put on an absolute show. Yep. We also, it's been a while since we've had Bianca and them on big time pay-per-view and stuff, man. Let's get them on there. I agree though. I agreed with no title swap. Now I think we might get maybe a Dakota Kai return. I'm not sure about the status of her injury. I probably should look that up beforehand. I also don't think we're gonna get any instance of a Jade turn or a Bianca turn or even a hint there yet. I think this will be a clean match, but I'd like to see a Dakota Kai maybe come out after Damage Control loses, or maybe she comes out during the match, and then you get Io kind of flipping out on her after they lose, and then you get maybe a Dakota Kai Io. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what you really get there. I do think there is some tension though. That, like I said, I don't think there's a full turn, but you can see that they're getting Jade and Bianca get aggravated at each other throughout the match, something like that. So no full on turn yet, but tension of hints of cracks there.
I had nothing else to add, but because I'm the number 2 Bill Goldberg hater, and I'm the number 1 turn Bianca heel person. So
everybody's gonna be like, this guy doesn't know wrestling at all.
Not at all. I faked to watch it, I guess. But we'll move on. I have this on the card. It's been so long since Jey Uso has been on a freaking PLE.
Ooh, okay.
Been so long.
Okay, I'm curious.
I think you got to have Jey Uso and Braun Breaker on it. I think you got to have the IC title match there. We also haven't seen Braun since SummerSlam, and even that match was kind of lackluster against Sami. I would say it was it was definitely the more forgettable of the matches during SummerSlam. But I just think, he's over here. I'm guessing Jay's going to be the most over guy in Saudi as well. He's going to be eating there. It's just been so long since we've seen him on a PLE. Put the guy in the biggest moments and let him shine.
Yeah. So I had Jey Uso in a match as well for the IC title. It was not against Braun Breaker. I didn't have Braun Breaker. So now that you say Braun Breaker, it makes a lot more sense to what I said. I have Jey Uso versus Sami Zayn, and just a gentleman, hey, I want you to compete for this. I want to show you that I'm better than you. Sort of like a face-to-face handshake agreement thing. The only reason I really did that is Jay is so over that you need to have Jay on the card. Well, Sami is also so over.
It's
Yeah. And I couldn't really find another place to put Sami.
Especially in Saudi.
Yeah, exactly. So I couldn't really find another place to put Sami on the card. So I said, okay, let's just have them face each other, and then maybe you get a Braun Breaker run in or something in that match. Yours makes a lot more sense storyline wise, but mine was more of like, hey, you got to get these two people on the card.
Yeah,
So.
you say Sami's name, and looking at my list, I don't have him on there, which would feel wrong, right, for a Saudi event. And he could easily show up in the Cody stuff if KO decides to make an entrance there. But I mean that would be that feels like it needs to be a part of Jay's title reign, just because of all the backstage little handshakes that they've had over the time. It's been a while since we've had just like I guess we did have Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens where they just kind of respectfully fought each other. But I would like to see that with Jay and Sami, because like you said, they're the most over guy, two of the most over guys on Raw. Yeah. And that would just be one of those fantasy matches that we'd love to see. But just given the recent stuff with Braun Breaker, I feel like you got to start putting the guy into bright lights like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, that makes a lot more sense than what I have, but it's just like, you got to get those two in.
I do want to talk about something that we kind of alluded to in our Raw review this week after all the stuff happened. Okay. What are the odds that this could be a triple threat? What are the odds this could be a fatal four-way with Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods in there if they are wanting to rip that belt off Jay in some way?
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely a possibility of where you would do it.
Yeah.
I feel like it would need a big stage to kind of do that. I don't see it happening just for me because of the card that I wrote down. There's already so many multi-person matches that I wouldn't want to see that. But that is a possible way to, I guess, protect Jay and also keep that New Day stuff going.
Yeah.
So that's certainly a possibility. Okay, so you went first with the Jey Uso one. So I'm going to go with another obvious one here. I'm going to go with Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed.
Yep, I have that too.
Obviously sitting there the Monday right before we recorded this, or I guess this is a few days after that now. Seth is coming for Bronson Reed. We've seen the interviews and the stuff from Bronson Reed saying he wasn't originally supposed to give Seth 6 tsunamis, but he just read the crowd.
That was awesome.
That sort of thing. Seth says he wants to make him famous, or he wants to be famous. He's going to give him 15 minutes, whatever he said.
Yeah.
Seth's kind of the golden poster boy. You need a big stage for this. It is a big feud, or should be. I hope it's not just a one-off. I hope they kind of continue this past there. But I feel like that's something that you have to have.
Yeah, and I completely agree. I also had this on the list. It's one of those things where we also haven't seen Seth Rollins. Mm-hmm. We haven't seen him has he been on a PLE match since Mania? I don't think so. He was guest referee at SummerSlam.
Right.
But I don't think he's been in a PLE match. I might be wrong there. But
I don't think so, because that was the only thing I think since Mania.
Yeah, because he took that long extended break.
Yeah.
Deserved too. But we haven't seen him in a big PLE since WrestleMania. And it's one of those things where Bronson Reed's been putting in the work. Let him shine on a big stage.
Yeah.
Him and Bronson Strowman feud was something kind of out of nowhere that everybody seemed to love. It got pretty high reception from the general audience, but it was one of those where it blew off on Raw instead of a PLE. So let's get this feud going. I have full confidence in these guys being able to stir up a nice rivalry in the next few weeks. Put them on Crown Jewel. Let Bronson Reed shine.
Yeah, and I think that's something where I know we talked about winners or who would win, who maybe lose, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I would have Seth win this one just because it is a Saudi show.
Yep.
But then afterwards, maybe have Bronson Reed just kind of destroy him again. Not full on 6 tsunamis, but maybe have him attack him afterwards, something like that.
Yeah, I would agree. I would have Seth win this. Mm-hmm. The instant argument is like, well, Bronson Reed just keeps losing, right? Like, what does it do? He's one of those guys where I just believe that he's a badass whenever he walks in. He's just a destructive, giant guy that he's going to beat the hell out of Seth Rollins the entire match, and he's gonna look strong. If he ends up losing at the end, it doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, you had that going. A lot of Raw.
Yes.
You notice that? A lot of
Raw.
Raw.
I mean, and that's kind of the trend that we've been getting.
Yeah.
I feel like we only typically have a couple SmackDown PLE matches, like SmackDown exclusive ones. Majority is Raw.
Yeah, I agree. But I am going SmackDown for my next one.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I got this as well.
I am going with the triple threat route. I am going to go LA Knight taking on Carmelo Hayes and Andrade in a triple threat match for the United States Championship. I feel like I've been saying it a lot during this video, but it's like guys that we haven't seen in the big matches on PLEs in a long time. We haven't seen LA Knight in a PLE since SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
We have not seen Carmelo Hayes or Andrade on one ever. So it's like, put these guys on this stage. If you want us to take SmackDown's mid-card seriously, you got to give them the bright lights every once in a while to show it. Whoever wins this, I definitely think it's LA Knight. I don't think we've seen the end of his reign. I think he's got a lot more story to tell, especially because of how congested the main card title is on that show. I mean, just keep the belt on LA Knight and let that take place over there, because if he drops it, he's kind of got nowhere up to go with it right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think maybe out of this triple threat, I had the same exact thing. LA winning, you probably get stemming from the triple threat, you get a more defined like number one contender out of this.
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to be whoever he feuds with next.
Yeah.
Don't know what they're going to do with whoever isn't that, like whoever gets the loss and who doesn't, become the number one contender. So a little worried about that. But in terms of LA Knight, he's got to be on there. He's over. So
I think that I'm with you. I think that it's one of those things where LA Knight wins, and then there's also an established guy who's like up next in this match, and I think it's going to be Carmelo Hayes. I think that you just have to run that back with LA Knight and Carmelo. And that would be a rivalry post Crown Jewel where I wouldn't mind maybe a back and forth of the title in some way, shape, or form. Yeah. Give Carmelo that first little push, and then have LA win it back. But I have LA Knight winning it here for sure. Yeah,
I have one more match.
He's smiling. It's gonna be out of left field, man.
No. It's not out of left field. Yeah, Goldberg versus Bret Hart. So this one's going to be Roman Reigns. He's got to make the PLE. He's got to make the card.
Yeah.
Versus Solo. I just have a singles match. I almost went the route of like a Solo and Fatu versus Jimmy and Roman, but like I said, there's so many multi-person matches that I think are going to happen on this. I say so many, but I guess half the card is. But either way, Roman and Solo, this was something that you could have originally booked for Mania, I think. It needs that big fight feel, that big PLE feel, as much as this kind of isn't that, right? This isn't how wrestling fans perceive it. The Saudi crowd is going to love this. I still have Solo winning, which makes it kind of rough for me. The only reason I have that is due to interference. Maybe you have Jimmy come out and Jimmy tries to help Roman, but then you have Fatu and Bloodline 2.0 come. Maybe there's another Bloodline member that comes out, a new debut of one, just to kind of keep that story going. But I feel like you have to have Roman on the card some way, somehow. This is it.
Yeah, I had a lot of thoughts about that, because when I was writing down the card, and as we said at the beginning of the show, Triple H has such he compacts the cards now. It's just not a lot. Yep. And right now I feel like the matches that we've previously listed are like shoe-ins, I think. I think this is going to happen for a bunch. So I was sitting there like, what do you do with Roman Reigns? And so I can't blame you for him fighting Solo. I just, for some reason, I don't see them pulling that trigger yet. I think that if Roman makes a card, we may get a tag team title match with him and Jimmy taking on Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa for those belts.
That's also a thought that I had as well.
I still think they would lose it via some sort of run-in. I just, after Roman and Cody beat them, I don't think, and I don't want Roman to just keep getting the upper hand on them, even with Jimmy coming back. I think that we still just need to put Roman in his place in terms of like, we still need to portray him as needing more help to get over this new Bloodline 2.0. But I just think it'd be a good way to get Jimmy back into the swing of things, see what he's still got going. Obviously, he thrives in tag team scenarios, so this is just better for him. And I think it's something where you could add in the Fatu and Solo run in and just continue the story. And I don't know if The Rock's going to be traveling to Saudi, but he also may show up, and then we really start pointing fingers toward Survivor Series and the War Games match.
Yeah, and that's kind of, I guess, this is going to be the vessel to get there, right? Like, you really kind of start to get the ball rolling, because you're only less than a month away from when Crown Jewel happens to when Survivor Series happens. So, like I said, I think maybe originally they had this Solo Roman match penciled in at a different time, kind of the big money match. But then as Fatu came in, as The Rock has reappeared, like, those are now the big money matches in the feud. Even though Solo has the how do you say it?
Ulafala.
Yeah, I can never say it. The peppers, as some people call it. I see some people in like Twitch chats call it peppers, and it makes me laugh every time. So even though Solo has that, Solo can still have that here. He can have them, and then maybe at like Survivor Series, after all the carnage is done, maybe Roman can take them then. But so I don't know kind of how you do that, kind of book yourself in that corner there. But you got to get Roman on the card some way, somehow. So it's either going to be that or a tag match, like you said.
I mean, they made the man fight Logan Paul last year.
That was a good match, though.
That was a great match.
It was a good match.
But I agree. He's going to be on that card some way, shape, or form. And I agree with everything you said about just needing to get that bloodline story going. I don't have any more matches, but I do want to point out, because I kind of knew that it was going to unfold this way. No, we have no Terror Twins, no Judgment Day stuff, really.
Yeah, like I said, you might get some sort of Rhea involvement in the women's title champion thing match, but I don't really see, I mean, at least for me, interest-wise, I'm kind of over the Terror Twins Judgment Day feud itself. So for me, it's not something I'm excited to see. So I'm really hoping that they kind of do that. And like I said, you might get a run-in or something like that, but this card has so much more storylines, at least how we looked and wrote about it, that like these are what's kind of important. They kind of booked themselves in a corner with the Liv versus Nia stuff, like the champion stuff. You kind of book yourself in a corner, or else you'd have some Judgment Day Terror Twin stuff. Yeah,
but now that you're saying that, I just popped light bulb in my head, because we haven't seen much of it since the moment it happened at Bad Blood. But like we did kind of leave out the idea of Raquel being on the side for Liv and Dom. I'm guessing that he'll be there as well, and he normally wins her matches. Mm-hmm. So that might play a part in the Tiffany cash in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I would very much like for Liv to take on Nia by herself in this one, and then have the SmackDown story with Tiffany play more of a role than Liv and Dom and Raquel. I'd like for that to just kind of be on the Raw side of things.
Now that you say that, what's popping into my head is like Raquel comes out to interfere, right, to help Liv, and then you got Rhea running out to take care of Raquel, and then they fight off, and then both champions are down or whatever. Then you hear the Tiffy like it's going to be an overbooked. Here we go.
Then the lights go out and you hear a dong, and the Undertaker's in the middle of the ring because Nia Jax did the sit up at Bad Blood, so now he's pissed. And he tombstones her.
As overbooked as like I think some of like those two matches, like it's weird because the two champion versus champion matches have the potential to be really, really overbooked.
Yeah, or
they might just end up keeping them super simple.
Yeah. If freaking Gunther makes Cody go to sleep in the middle of the ring, that's just that.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be great. Yeah. I'd be down. But those are our predictions. Way too early predictions for the Crown Jewel card. We've only seen literally one Raw since Bad Blood, so this is early. But we will see how things look. I'm confident in our list here. I really am. But follow us on all of our socials at COD WrestlePod, COD WrestlePod. Listen to our podcast wherever you listen to your podcast, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, etc. If you want to come join our Discord, go to our link tree in our bio. It's got our Discord and all of our socials. Go ahead. Follow all those and come say hi in our Discord, because we got some good peeps in there that we like talking to. But anyway, I'm Will. That's Brandon. We are the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast, and we will see you next time.